My name is Laura Jacob from Kent County Public Schools. I am the supervisor of technology there. So I am going to share my screen and give you guys a short presentation because I think you'd prefer to see kids than to see me. So if I move this over, and I apologize, while sharing my screen, I can't see the chat, so I can address chat afterwards. So is everybody able to see my screen okay? Can I get somebody to chime in just because I can't see?
Yes.
I can see it.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so the title of our proposal is GenZeal, a new generation of thinkers who design, develop, and distribute for tomorrow. And we wanted to play on the Gen Z concept and twist it to that positive of, the zeal and the positive of where our students can go. So just to give you some demographics, I have a map there on the right-hand side for you. Of where we're located. We're over on the Eastern Shore in Maryland. We serve 439 students. 73% are white, 26 are African American, and the 2% or 1% there are other. We have 55% on the free or reduced lunch program. The way our program is set up, we have two options for children at the middle school, and this serves 6 through 8 at our middle school. They can choose Kent Tech, which is a program that is offered 2 hours every 3 weeks during the school day. And so the way it's set up is that all the students in the middle school get to choose different programs that they want to do. And during those 2 hours of time, we work with them on the technology. Now, students can also choose other programs. For example, one, they're working on the Chesapeake Bay and working to restore the oyster population. So it's 2 hours, and then during that time, the staff, the teachers there work on professional learning. But we have them for 2 solid hours during that time, but it's every 3 weeks during the school day. The second option of our program, and what students can also do in addition to Kent Tech, is the Code Club after school, and it's 2 hours every Tuesday and every Thursday after school, where I work with them, and I'll talk about what we're focusing on. So the program itself is, we're going to focus on computational thinking and programming, and we're going to tier it in their skill development. So for example, we started off and we're using Raspberry Pis to work on this with the students. And we start off with physical computing, teaching them how to turn on a light, teaching them how to make a buzzer work, teaching them multiple lights, and also physically putting those together. And we taught them, here's how you would write it in Scratch, and then how would we write it in Python. And so we moved from the block-based coding, which they had some experience with, to Python. And then unexpectedly, I did a session on Minecraft with the kids using Minecraft on the Raspberry Pi, and taught them, well, yeah, it's great that you can physically put different blocks in Minecraft, but did you know that you could build a house just by coding it in Python? And my boys just had an absolute blast with that. So we spent quite a few sessions after school on Minecraft. And I taught them Python through the Minecraft, and that's where they really had a great time. And it was one that I expected to be maybe 1 or 2 sessions, but my boys really had a good time with that. So we spent a little bit more time than expected on it. And then we transferred into app development and taught them Swift and Python and building apps specifically for iOS. So using the Swift code for iOS coding. And the focus now, so that was just the background to help them get a comfortability with physical programming, with using Python, with doing graphics-based coding in apps. And now we're working on with businesses and communities. And and this is an example of them using the DHT 11 temperature and humidity sensors, for example. But Now, the next step is we taught the students the design thinking process. And what they have to do is they are going through the design thinking process with businesses and communities in the area. And they're interviewing the businesses and communities and working on developing something based on a need that they have in their business or community. So for example, this is at our government building, and they interviewed one of our members in government, and he has a specific need, and he wants to have sensors, temperature sensors, at the top of the building and at the bottom of the building that will alert him if the temperature goes too low or the temperature gets too high in the actual building. And so what the students did is they interviewed them, and then they then come back and work with me, and they decide what they're going to purchase, what they need in order to create first prototype and then create that piece for the business and then to install it. But we're doing it all through that lens of working the students through the design thinking model. In this one, this is an example in our government building. The students went in and interviewed with our technicians that are across the county that are in charge of our fiber network and putting in our fiber network. So the students are interviewing them. They interviewed him, and he did a presentation on what their specific needs are. So for example, they have a need that they need an alarm that will send them an email if a specific door is open in the server closets, because they don't want different people in the server closets for a variety of security reasons. So the students are going to design and install alarm sensors that will email the gentleman that's there when a door, for example, is open. And then a third one, the gentleman in the blue with the blue tie is one of our mayors in one of our communities. And they have a tram, a public tram system over the summer where you can kind of jump on and jump off the tram and go around the area in Rock Hall. And so what he would like is for the students to design a GPS monitor and an app that will allow any user to open up that app and see where the tram is and how far away it is from, say, picking them up. So that's one of his project-based activities that he's going to do. And so that's a picture of the kids interviewing him and coming up with as many questions as they could to get started on their project. One of the things that we do every day, and I know that somebody put this on the list, which was great, which was Flipgrid. And every day after every session, the kids are expected to do a Flipgrid response. And if you haven't used Flipgrid, it's great because I just use the free version, but it's a minute to a minute and a half. The students have to do a quick reflection on what they learned during that session. And all I do is I set up one computer, I have the Flipgrid up, and the students hit that plus button on the left-hand side. They add a short 1 to 2 minute video of what they learned and then submit it with their names. It gives me a great reflection on what they've learned, what they remember from the session, and then helps me plan forward. And I'm starting to see that continuity of student growth as we're going through it. So that's just an example of something that we use with Flipgrid.